now we all know that this young fellow is allegedly the son of a former president, and you can attach that allegedly anywhere you would like. The former part, if you think he's still president, or that he never was president, he was just kind of given a list of judges to put in by the Heritage Foundation, and he basically just golfed and ate and farted and drank Diet Coke for 4 years while we all paid him to do it, or just allegedly fellow. We'll see. But this is Don Jr. on Hannity, and what he's going to push back against is the insanity. This is watch. Don Jr. slams the insane public health bureaucrats. I mean, this is, guys, and I mean, if just him being on with Sean Hannity is like, we at least get to look at two of the weirdest heads on the right.
Trump Jr. is with us. You know, your dad put the travel ban in effect. He took a lot of heat for that, Don.
Well, he did announce it on a Friday and say it didn't go into effect, I think, until the following Tuesday, when 28 other countries had already done that, and he only did it with non-citizens that were visiting family here, or tourism and that kind of stuff. If you were a businessman, let's say flying to a meatpacking company, you could go there. So it's not so much a ban. But please continue.
Your dad was able to get not one, not two, but 3 vaccines that help save lives. Your dad.
Well, that's debatable, Sean. Apparently, a lot of folks, largely Fox viewers, think that they're poison and that you'd be better off drinking bleach and shoving a light bulb up your ass. So, citation needed.
Help with therapeutics like Regeneron
Regeneron is the company. Regeneron is the company, not the actual stuff. REGN-CoV-2, I think, was the actual name of the. Never mind.
Your dad put in place the stay in Mexico policy, built a wall, and he ended catch and release. Boy, a lot has happened in 6 or.
Well, no. He the remain in Mexico part would have been remain in Mexico if he had actually gone through the process of processing all the asylum claims. Stay in Mexico, and we will work on your stuff while that happens. He just blew that part off. So basically, he was just his version of remain in Mexico was just like forever. Just don't ever come in the country, even if your asylum claims are legit. And even though that's a violation of our own country's laws and international law, we'll just pretend.
7 months, hasn't it?
It really has. It's sort of amazing how quickly our country can degenerate with incompetent leadership. I mean, Joe Biden's.
And if anybody knows, being a degenerate.
Only legacy, Sean, at this point is going to be showing America how good they actually had it under Donald Trump. The policies are
totally. Yeah, you guys don't realize it, okay? You are gonna clamor for another year where we lose 580,000 Americans, while some asshole tells you that the disease is nothing to worry about and the Chinese are handling it. But it's also a bioweapon they sent to kill us all, and I'm also going to do a trade deal with them at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I'm already pining for it.
Everything that you've been talking about, the whole show, are absolutely ridiculous. Imagine Donald Trump released.
Well, that is true. Hannity's show in general is ridiculous. So
7,000 COVID-infected patients into a small town in Texas. Now, that doesn't cover the rest of the border, so it's probably that. Think of how much exponential spread of this disease is there because they're simply not willing to enforce rules against illegal immigrants. Americans.
They're simply. Sorry, run that by me again, kiddo.
They're simply not willing to enforce rules against illegal immigrants.
They're simply not willing to enforce rules against illegal immigrants. Let's see. Just simply not able to. Let's see. They're simply not willing. They just don't wanna. They're just not, they don't want to do it. Let's see. They don't want, they just, I don't know why they don't understand why they won't just push. Okay, you guys get my point.
Americans, law-abiding American citizens, are now second-class citizens in their own country based on the actions of this administration, and it's disgusting.
I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about.
I can't really put it any better, but you're right, because mask mandates, mandatory vaccines now are happening, passports are happening, and meanwhile, we're not talking about just 7,000. There's now over 1 million, since Joe Biden's president, illegal immigrants in the middle of a pandemic, hardly any of them tested for COVID, and then transported all over the United States with a high rate of...
Well, no, we're not. No, like the idea that 1.1 million are going to cross over the course of the year because that's what we're on track for, which is a volume normal to who crosses. That's not who gets to stay. They get deported. They're not allowed to stay. They don't test everybody. Some folks they just send back. The people that do have some sort of sponsorship or an asylum claim or an NGO or a family relative in the country will speak for them. They get tested. If they've tested positive, they quarantine for a time. Other people are getting actually vaccinated when they come in as part of the asylum claim. The people who aren't getting it are the people who are going to be sent back. That's another conversation. I would argue, then the right wing will start clamoring that, oh, I see, this is just their way of drawing people into the country. They're going to promise free vaccines to people, and that's going to, the caravans of people from South America who want a vaccine are going to come in.
COVID positivity, and I'm like, you can't make this up. Americans have no...
Well, you are, Sean. 1 million people are not being sent all over the country. You're making that up.
It's illegal immigrants, they get treated, they get the red carpet treatment, no need to test you, no need to mandate a vaccine for you, no need to put...
Sean, back up. Start your whole sentence again. I was about to say you're talking out of your ass, but that's readily apparent.
Mask on when you're in one of his overcrowded cages that he built.
The red carpet cages, by the way. They're laying out the red carpet, and the red carpet lays right into a cage. It's kind of... Biden has put Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner in charge of immigration policy.
100%. It's insane. Think about it. They're knowingly releasing COVID-positive patients into the United States. You can't even...
No, they aren't. You can't, in the one hand, say that they're cramming them together into cages when they're positive, and then say they're just releasing them into the country when they're positive. They're not. They're quarantined until it either passes... until they pass the window or they test negative, and then they can be moved on. This is just weird. This is just goofy. It's so obviously false. Why are Fox hosts always so indignant? Wouldn't you be, Bean Toes? Basically, between Tucker and Sean Hannity and most of the Fox and Friends, they got more vapors than an asthmatic kid who gets to stay home from school with Vicks on his chest. That's the biggest stack I could come up with at short notice.
Go to a restaurant in New York City according to the rules that Mayor Bill de Blasio wants to impose without a vaccine passport. You can't go eat. You can't go to the gym. You can't...
No. You can eat. You can eat. You can't go to a public gym because you'll be, Now, there's a bunch of areas where private entities may or may not decide that they can do that. But you can eat. You can buy food and you can cook it at home. Think of it as the food version of Twitter. You don't get to go to the restaurant and say whatever you want, but you haven't lost your right to eat.
You can't go to public places, and you can't work at them either. Under the new rules there, as a citizen of the United States, you don't have that choice. If you're an illegal immigrant infected with a perhaps deadly new strain,
you also can't go there. You cannot go there. They won't go. No, none of these restaurants or gyms are going. I'm sorry, you're here without a visa, Robert. Come on in, then, please. I mean, can someone speak? Does anyone speak Nahuatl? No. Anyone Portuguese? Yes. There's some Brazilian caravan members who, yes, we want them to come in and have try some of our escargot before they go upstairs to use the racquetball court. Yes. No, they don't have a vaccine passport. No. Oh, they should have one if they were citizens, but they can come in anyways.
Of COVID, the Delta variant, you are free to roam, Sean. You can go wherever.
No, you aren't. What the fuck is he talking about?
You want and do whatever you want with no consequence.
No, you're not. This is kind of gorgeous. So according to Don Jr., now that his dad is no longer running things, if you sneak across the border, you have a right to murder, rape, pillage, spread disease. Heck, you can willfully and knowingly contract HIV and have unprotected sex with people, not letting them know that you're HIV positive, and they can't even sue you. By God, you can give smallpox to a large group of Native Americans for old time's sake, if you so choose. Does anybody even believe this shit? Who thinks that people can go to New York and go anywhere they want as long as they're illegal? The fuck are you talking about?
It's literally insane. Not only are they imposing a caste system,
yes, it is insane to believe that.
Tiered system within our own country of American citizens, those who are vaccinated and those who aren't, and they get to abide by different rules and they get to go to different places. They're imposing segregation, and if it was the right doing it,
sorry, segregation. Oh, that's right. There's COVID water fountains and vaccinated water fountains, and then of course the illegals get bottled water service at their table. Flat or sparkling. Fucking hell.
Left commentating, they'd say, man.
They literally, he's talking so much shit, even Hannity is playing the Oscars fuck off music.
This strikes me similar to the Jim Crow laws, because in New York City, for example, the largest demographic of unvaccinated people happens to be African Americans. And now you're telling them they can't travel freely, they can't go to restaurants, they can't live their life.
Yeah, but not because of their race. And they are equal with everyone else who's unvaccinated. And the vaccine is free. So it is not a poll tax in terms of vaccination. I mean, this is just goofy. It's the new Jim. This is Don Jr. trying desperately to get a viral video out of this. But maybe watch this, I'll say this is the new Jim Crow, and aha.
They don't choose to let the government impose restrictions on them.
I got to tip my hat to you. You're a lot smarter than I am, because you got the hell out of New York. I need to follow your lead, and so does everybody else.
I agree. Fox, I'm sorry to tell you this. I know he's a cash cow for you, but Sean's leaving. He's packing the show up. He's moving in with Don. They're going to start a little chinchilla farm. They're mean little critters, but they're delicious. And they're going to just, live together and build a windmill by hand to power their dreams. This is the new Magnolia Farms that you're seeing right in front of you. Fox, I'm sorry. I know. I don't know who you're gonna get to yammer between catheter ads, but you'll find someone. There's a budding young Tucker out there on YouTube. You know, maybe give Tim Pool and Jimmy Dore a show together. It'll be like Crossfire, but gross.
Anyway, great to see
Florida's
you.
a wonderful place, Sean. I'm loving it.
But it is. It's a wonderful place right there. He's got a point. It is wonderful. It has some. I suppose. It's got a couple of issues. As things go. It's there is a. I understand. Like, Florida's got some issues. Obviously, 135 children hospitalized for COVID. That's kind of new. Children. I've literally not seen that about any other state, and I do mean not see. Florida, it's got a lot going for it. It's a record-setting state. Yeah. This is, I don't know what more you would want. It is, ever since Trump moved there and Don Jr. and the family moved with him, things have just gotten better and better. Especially the kind of stuff, you see, that get, heartwarming stories. Florida Children's Hospital see pediatric COVID cases soar amid Delta variant surge. More Florida children were hospitalized with COVID-19 on Tuesday than in any other state, reflecting a rapid rise in serious illness amongst an age group considered to be at the lowest risk of severe outcomes from the disease, and many still not eligible for the vaccine. A total of 46 pediatric patients were admitted to a Florida hospital with a confirmed infection, while an additional 22 were hospitalized with a suspected case, according to the federal government's hospital capacity data. Only, let's see, whoops, hold on. Only Texas reported a higher total number of pediatric patients in hospitals with confirmed COVID-19 on Tuesday, 142. Well, everything's bigger in Texas compared to 135 in Florida. Look at that. Here's a percentage increase of new COVID cases by age since. Hi, Miami. I was kind of like, can't. I don't know. I'm not buying the thing. Hold on. Sorry. Can we reload the page and that'll go away maybe? Is it how I scroll down? Is that what did it? There we go. Floridians of all ages contributed to a rapid increase in new cases during the month of July, but a Miami Herald analysis found that kids under 12 had the highest rate of increase in new cases between July 25th and July 23rd. June 25th and July 23rd. The 7-day average of new cases for Florida kids under 12 grew from 205 on June 25th to 1,544 the week of July 23rd. A 7-fold increase. 1,500 kids under the age of 12 have tested positive for COVID in Florida. Just in the week of July 23rd. And it's still continuing to climb. And they passed, a law coming up that they can't have mask mandates in schools. Hala's mental health care sparklers to gift us up. Oh, thanks, Cosmic Rose. Thank you very much. And thank you, Shadow Woman and Peter and Sarah for the gift subs today as well. And thanks for the super chats and the bits and everything in Twitch. I appreciate that, you guys. And again, thanks for being understanding about yesterday. In our previous iteration of the pandemic, it was more they're positive, but they're not sick or minimally sick, except for the pandemic's changing impact on children. This is different. There's a much higher percentage of pediatric patients becoming infected and symptomatic. The number of patients presenting at Memorial Health and Joe DiMaggio's Children's Emergency Room with COVID has exploded. Ford said from 23 in June to 240 in July, a nearly 1,000% increase. The rate of rise has been really more than what we saw in what we in the Children's Hospital have seen at any point in this pandemic. That to me is concerning. Christ. Honest to God, I like. And these assholes are making jokes about how awesome it would be to be in Florida right now. And he's saying it's great in Florida and it's just getting better, and he's ready to move there. 1,000% rise in children under 12 being admitted to the hospital with COVID. Children under 12. My son is 10 years old. These assholes.
All right, now you're just putting the knife in and twisting it. All right, fair enough. I agree. I'm a dope. Good to see you.
Well, good. All right. I that's amazing. We all have an admission from Sean Hannity. Is this a sign of growth?
All right, fair enough. I agree. I'm a dope. Good to see you. Thanks for being with us. When we come back, Donald Trump Jr. is with us.
Holy smokes. Yes. Absolutely true.